Hi guys, right, as promised, I'm doing a 3-day series on hand lettering. There's quite a lot to hand lettering, so this is like a mini series. I am just going to give you some top tips on how to just make a start, and then I'm thinking about doing something a little bit more in depth for my YouTube channel, and perhaps supporting that with some things that you can print off and practice your lettering. So if you're interested in that, let me know by sending me a DM if you're watching this on Instagram, or a message from Facebook, or a comment on YouTube, or emailing me. My email will be across the screen right now. And just let me know what you think, because there is so much to hand lettering that I really think you need to go kind of more in depth. So if you kind of enjoy what we're doing in the next 3 days, then hopefully you'll enjoy something if I can put it together for you, if you're interested, and we can go a bit more in depth. So day one, today, we are going to be looking at just how to get into the flow of joining your letters together. I think the main thing with hand lettering is to know that even though there are some beautiful calligraphers out there who just do the most amazing things, I'm not one of those people, and I think it's very much just accepting how you bring your letters together, accepting your style, and just understand there's no right or wrong. People will like your style or they won't. Take what I'm giving you, have a go at it, see how you feel with it, and let's go from there. We're gonna end up with a quote. I've got a quote ready. I've done some examples. If you want to use this quote, that would be fantastic. It's inspired by a quote I've just hand lettered on a client's painting, and I actually thought it's quite apt for the time that we're in right now. If you fancy copying that, go ahead. I will eventually put some stills on the screen and maybe some bigger pictures of it on stories, because I know this video will be the wrong way around. I'll put a full screen up and maybe you can screenshot it and try copying it, and then try copying it the way I've done it, and then adapt it to how you like it. The quote that we're going to be doing is this one from the legend. Is that focusing? Yes, the legend that is Dumbledore. Okay, so today we're focusing on just how to join letters. That's all we're going to do. I'm going to turn you around and we'll talk about this more. I thought I'd show you first of all some examples of just my everyday handwriting, just so we can see how it changes. So this is the quote written in my everyday handwriting, how I would write in a journal or a diary or a letter or whatever. This is just my handwriting. I join up my handwriting mostly. You'll see that there are some, if you look at these O's for example, some of them I loop and some of them I don't. And then my T's look a bit strange. And then this is my kind of capital. Sometimes I'll loop O's on capitals, sometimes I won't. But I honestly think don't be too self-conscious about what you're doing, just do it and you will adapt. I'm gonna insert a picture of a really early piece of watercolour brush lettering that I did to show you how you can progress. And by no means am I perfect at this, but I have my style, and I think that's the thing to remember, and I had to learn this very fast, is know your style. This example here is a really basic start to joining up your letters. Now, you'll see that there aren't a lot of loops going on in this lettering. My F, I definitely have looped, but I haven't looped my D's or my T's or my H's or my K or anything like that. I tend to loop all of them. The next example you're going to see is more my style, but I wanted to show you this so that you can see that you can bring it right down to basics if you want to. So you can just stick with a simple T, a simple H, and just gradually start to introduce things like little looped R's, looped G's and Y's, that sort of thing. So in contrast to that, if I just move him along a little bit, you'll also notice that this lettering is just done with one fine line pen. A felt tip pen will be fine. I'll show you the pens we're going to use in a second, or something similar, but really anything you can lay your hands on. The whole point of this 3-part series is just using what you have at home. So this is more my style, and you can see the difference. I tend to do a lot of smaller letters, a lot of lowercase where there should be an uppercase, but that's what I'm saying, just adapt to your style. So you can see the difference here. This is a lot more looped. You've got the loops on the D's, the K's, the T's, the S's, the F, the O. Everything is kind of looped, and also I'm starting to be less linear with this. If I try and lift it up a little bit for you, you can see that it's kind of, when I'm doing things like N's and M's, I'm dropping some parts lower down, just to give it a bit of character. So where it says 1, I've popped my N down lower, brought it back up for the E. There's no right or wrong way here. It literally just is whatever look you prefer. If you prefer something more linear, then that's absolutely fine. This is a little selection of the pens that I use mostly when I'm doing any form of lettering. We're going to look at making the letters proper brush lettered / calligraphied tomorrow. My style is a bit of a mixture of both. The pen that I use to do the ones you've just seen and this main piece that I showed you at the beginning is this Papermate pen. It's just a felt tip looking pen. If it will focus. It's really fine and it's just a felt tip basically. So if you have a felt tip at home or your kids have felt tips, you can just try with those. When you get more advanced and you want to learn proper brush lettering, you can go for these Tombow markers, which are a proper brush tip. They're double-ended, so you've got a fine line on the other end like this, which is also fine to use. So anything like this. I use white. We're going to come to looking at white on envelopes on Friday. And that's just a gel pen, and then this one is a brush pen as well, only a little bit more of a stiff nib, and all of these you can get on Amazon or anywhere like that. But for today and for the sake of just practice, go with a felt tip or even a pencil would be fine. I'm going to use this. This is what I've been using for everything I'm showing you, so I'm going to stick with it, and we're going to just look at letters. Hopefully you're going to be able to see this okay. I'm going to just do random things on this page so you can see, but when you're holding your pen, there's a lot of professional letterers that will tell you to hold it a certain way. Just for the sake of this and for beginners, just hold it how you feel comfortable. So what I would suggest you do is just start with the alphabet. When I'm doing capital A's, for example, I very often, when I will letter an envelope, I'll do my capital A's just a bigger version of my lowercase one rather than going like this. But you can do things like with your capital A's, like bring the tail down there, cross it over that way. So if I was going to write the name Anne on an envelope, for example, this happens to be my mum's name, so I'm going with it. Let me write it more this way. So I would do a big N like this, and then a little loop, and then a little tail, and I tend to do it like that, as opposed to if I was going to do it like a proper capital A, I might do it like that. You see the difference. So you've just got to experiment with really what you feel comfortable with. It's really helpful to kind of work on how to join your letters together. If I was going to write, let's go with Anne again. If I was going to write Anne and not take my pen off the page, it gets a little bit wobbly. The best way to join letters together with brush lettering or calligraphy is to slow yourself right down. So do your letters individually and really think about how you're joining them together. So I'm giving it a little tail, and then I'm going to just join my N like that. My mum's going to freak out because I said this is her name, and it is, but she doesn't have an E on the end of her name, which I didn't put on this one, but I did on this one for some reason. You see here how I've joined the A, and then just literally, it's not really joined, it's a fake join, because I've done my A with a tail, and then I've gone straight into my N, but it isn't naturally where I would, like if I was writing it without taking my pen off, it would be up here, and that's fine too. You see? It's just really how you feel comfortable doing it. And what aesthetically, the next letter like this, little loop at the top, down, and then round. That's a B, okay? So if I wanted to join it to, let's say, if I was going to write the word best, okay, I could go round like this, up into my S. I stop there for a second and I loop my T like that, okay? Or I could just stop it there and then, yeah? So it's really up to you. But what I would suggest that you do is start to kind of think about your alphabet first of all. So start with your A's and start lowercase first. So think about how you want your A to look. So you're just going to go, if your A looks like that normally, just think, okay, right, so I need it to join onto something, so I'm going to give it a little tail. And just do a line of these. And then gradually, as you go along, start to just make them look like they're joined together. Sorry, I'm a little bit shaky. I need some food. Okay? And then think about your B's. If you don't want to do the loop and you just want to do a regular B, think about, okay, so I need to be able to join that on. I need to be able to bring it round like this. If you want to do something a bit looser, you can take that part away like this. So you see how it's becoming wider apart here. That's an option. A lot of brush lettering is done like that, so you have quite a distance between the stalk of the letter and then where it comes out. And then if you want to go full on kind of like loopity-loop, like I like to, can you hear what those birds going mental outside? You can do your loop and then come round. Your loop and then come round. All right, just like that. And then as you get more and more advanced, you can start to really kind of like, just the looser the better. And then just keep going on. Letter C, you might just want to bring it like that. Okay, for me, my C's and my E's tend to look fairly similar. They do look a bit like E's. My E is kind of a bit more like that, but in a word, it makes a lot more sense. So just sit and go through. I think if I do this further for you as a proper little mini course, I will give you a sheet to practice with and just go over. But for the sake of today, I just want you to sit and practice. Letters that could be difficult are letters like F, because F is best done in the style of bringing it up and over like this and giving it a tail like that. I call everything a tail even though it's not a tail, which is ridiculous. If I was going to join it to go another one, half of the battle is knowing how to join the letters together. And if I was doing a capital F, I would just literally make it bigger, because if I was going to write Fred, it's just knowing how to join things together. So go through your alphabet, maybe even just try and join them together the way you would. That was a really rough example. It's hard to join some letters together, and I still struggle with certain letters, and sometimes if I'm doing envelopes I will have to really think about what I'm doing. So that would be your first thing, is to find your little letters and just repeat the ones that are difficult, really work on them, and then think about how you want your capitals to look. And at the top of my head, when I'm doing capitals mostly, I'll be looping most letters that I'm doing. So I told you about the A will be just a big A like that. If I wanted to, I might bring in a loop at the beginning, but I mostly just do it like this. Or you can do like a little added extra here if you want to. You see, there's so many different ways. This is why a short series is you just try and cram as much in as possible. B's, I'll always look at doing like this. And then if I'm going to join it into my second letter, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, I'll bring it around like this. C's, pretty straightforward. D's, similar idea. E's for me, I will tend to do, again, this is just my style, like this. So I was going to write the name Emma, I would go for example. A G, basically I'm doing a little loop at the top of most of my letters where I can. You get it. And an H, similar idea. And I's I used to kind of do like this, and sometimes I do, but mostly now I tend to just do them like this because it's nice and clear. A J, I'll always do like this. If I was going to write like that. And then K's for capitals, I'll tend to do like that with a long, if I'm doing like a name on an envelope, that's how I would do it. How I do my little K's is a little loop like that, but sometimes if you do them big, they can look like R's. It's just practice. Joining letters together can be the difficult thing, and we're going to look at that now. So as I said, joining letters can be quite difficult. I think that's the biggest thing to practice, which is why I thought we would focus on this one quote because it's kind of got all of the joins that are the most common within it. And so just really practice one word at a time. I'm not going to write this whole thing out for you. I'm going to put, after this video is finished, I'm going to put a whole screen of this. You can screenshot it and just practice it. And then tomorrow we're going to make it thicker like this. But just get your pen and definitely practice an alphabet first. But let's just take one word as an example. I'm going to take the word light as an example because I can keep it in screen and film you at the same time. So definitely think about your options. So like I said earlier on, if you're new to it and you want to just stick with a basic L into your I like that, add in the G, loop it around so you can connect your H. Even if you want to just go straight like this, you know, that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just really, really, really basic. If you want to jazz it up a little bit, loop your L. I'm bringing it round and then slightly out so that I can attach my I. Same with the I, around and slightly out. Curling the tail of my G and thinking about where it's going. And then I'm going to start here and I'm going to loop my H over the join like that. And the same with my T. Okay, so you've got your two options there, slightly easier, a little bit more complicated. But I'm basically looking at where letters join and trying to cover it up. So that example again, if I move that slightly, if I do my L, so loop it at the top, go slightly out, take my hand off the page. I'm slowing right down. I comes round, a little bit of a lift. Add in my G, and my G needs to curl over the tail of that I to cover it up, come round and stop. And now for the H, I'm going to start here and I'm going to aim to get my loop, go back round over that join. Lift it up, bring it down as far as you want and loop it. Give it a little edge, a little tail. And cross over that join there. And that's what you're going to do basically the whole way through. I would say that the hardest word here is remembers. Because I always spell it wrong, but it's hard just because it's of the R at the beginning. I hate starting R's like this, I'm not gonna lie. So start your R, give it the little loop, take the tail down, and that is your R, okay? Into your E and stop. Go down, make it a little bit loose, just don't grip your pen too tight and you should be good. Just keep stopping, and when you get to your B, if you want to loop it at the bottom, and just keep stopping in between each letter and just try and gather your thoughts. Okay? If you don't want to loop things, I mean with the R's, you can do regular R's and then just start your E down separately and then keep it really, really simple. The main thing is practice. If you don't want to loop the B, you don't have to. You don't even have to loop that part there. You can just, see, that still looks fine. It's just not as fancy, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for today. Practice everything that we've gone through. Just practice your letters. Tag me on Instagram at Leafling Studio if you get this quote done. And then tomorrow we are going to be looking at doing it like this. So we're going to be looking at making it like calligraphy without actually using calligraphy pens. That's going to be a much quicker lesson, but good luck. Show me how you get on.